All right, so I always enjoy sharing the story of how this event started, how it came to be. And we have some of our friends from the Home Depot with us this morning, but this actually all started in the parking lot of a Home Depot up in Gwinnett County on Pleasant Hill Road in Gwinnett County, way back in 2001. It was the first year of a brand new contest called Teamworks. It was a brand new SkillsUSA contest. And just as we do today, Construction Ready had the honor of organizing this event. We had about 100 or so observers at that event, and they were mostly Home Depot shoppers that were just kind of curious about what was going on. But it was a great event, and our students even got some real-world experience because the parking lot, as all parking lots usually are, was not level, right? It was sloped to allow for the water runoff. And so they were working to build, level foundations in a sloping parking lot. So they got some good real-world experience. But that's really where this event started, way back in 2001. After that, a few years at the Home Depot, we expanded to other venues in Gwinnett County. We were at a multi-purpose center on the campus of Gwinnett Technical College. We were over at the Gwinnett County Fairgrounds for a few years. Many of you remember the dusty Gwinnett County Fairgrounds. And then we moved to the Georgia International Convention Center, which is the second largest venue in Georgia. It's down by the airport. We were there for a few years. And then, of course, this year, we're here in our brand new home at the Georgia World Congress Center. As I shared earlier, this is the third largest venue in the United States. So we're very happy to be here, happy to have this as our new home. We are in Building A. Our vision is to one day have the whole Georgia World Congress Center complex. That's the vision for this event. So just so you know where we're headed. But this is our 17th year overall doing a combined event. We took a few years off because of COVID, many of you know. But I'm proud to report this morning that this is our largest event ever. We were nervous as we were planning it. We were hoping that people hadn't forgotten about us, with a 3-year break. But we are back, and this is our largest event ever. And so I want to share some of the numbers with you. Throughout yesterday and today, we will host more than 9,000 total attendees on the floor of this center. That includes and we're still counting the numbers because, believe it or not, people are still registering for the Expo this morning, which is crazy. But we have about 6,300 middle school, high school, and technical college students from across the state of Georgia, 6,300. About 1,500 industry volunteers representing more than 300 different employers. And then we have another 1,200 parents, teachers, and counselors. So there are a lot of people here over the course of 2 days. A little bit more about Construction Ready. We were started way back in 1993. This is our 30th anniversary, which is hard to believe. But we were started by visionary construction leaders who saw a need to promote the skilled trades in a positive way, especially among young people. They saw a need to promote construction as a career and a need to establish high-quality construction training programs throughout Georgia. Today, Construction Ready is a thriving statewide organization, a powerful and effective voice for construction workforce development throughout the state. On the issue of workforce development, we represent 18 different construction trade organizations and more than 3,000 construction employers. This event, the Career Expo and SkillsUSA Georgia Championships, is an exciting and tangible demonstration of the work that we do throughout the year. While this event is only 2 days in length, it has a major impact on many lives. One highlight of this event is the SkillsUSA Georgia Championships, which takes place on the center of the floor, and you'll see that when you go down on the floor. But today we have over 400 high school and technical college students competing for the opportunity to represent Georgia at SkillsUSA Nationals, which incidentally is back here in the third week of June. Atlanta is the host of the national competition now, so we'll be right back here. A lot of our students will. But at this time, I do want to recognize our students, and they're pretty easy to spot. Most of them are wearing neon shirts. If you are a SkillsUSA competitor, I'd like to ask you to stand to be recognized at this time. The green shirts are our high school students. The orange shirts are our technical college students, in case you're wondering. Another important group with us this morning are individuals who support these champions throughout the year. If you are a teacher, an advisor, a parent, we call them influencers, but if you're a teacher, advisor, parent of one of our champions, if you could please stand and be recognized. Teachers, advisors, parents. All right, another group we want to recognize are our school counselors. We started hosting counselors at this event a few years back, and this year we have another great group of counselors. I understand we have about 80 school counselors with us this year from around the state. Our school counselors, if you could please stand if you're with us this morning for breakfast. Last group to recognize, and I shared this with you earlier, it takes about 1,500 volunteers to organize this event. And we have a key group of those volunteers with us this morning. Those are our technical chairs and our judges. So these are the people who organize the SkillsUSA competitions for us. So if you're a technical chair or a judge, if you could please stand. I think most of them are busy on the floor getting ready for the competition, but we always invite them to come join us for breakfast. So, all right, so our first speaker this morning was elected state school superintendent of Georgia in November 2014. Richard Woods grew up in a military family and graduated from Fitzgerald High School in South Georgia. Woods has 29 years experience in public education, including 14 years as a high school teacher. During this time, he was also selected as Teacher of the Year. Since taking office in 2014, he has proven to be a tremendous champion of career and technical education and has attended our breakfast every single year that he's been state school superintendent. We really appreciate that. But it gives me great pleasure to introduce Georgia's state school superintendent, Mr. Richard Woods.
Good morning, everyone. I'll keep this brief. You're hungry. I'm hungry. Breakfast is waiting. So, but I just want to say congratulations to each and every one of you who are here. Wish you the very best today. Again, as always, I think it has been, already stated, safety first. Okay, that is, without a doubt. And you know your training. You know what you've been taught. And definitely being around in your surroundings, because we want everyone that attends these events to really model that and continue that on, throughout your careers. But at the Department of Education, it is a pleasure to support CTAE. We have Dr. Wall, who is our Deputy Superintendent of CTAE, with part of her team here today and is doing a fabulous job. But, our mission at the DOE is to prepare students for life. And we firmly believe that supporting CTAE, that is what we are doing. We are, expanding opportunities throughout the state to give you opportunities to pursue a career that you will enjoy, something that you will stay in throughout. But also, I think for those of you who are seniors, again, just congratulations on that. But, we're thinking forward. We're thinking ahead. We're extending CTA and working on that to make sure that our kids in grades K through 5 begin to have a glimpse of what CTA looks like. I think having that early exposure will be extremely important. And again, we're looking forward to that. But also, working with great partnerships, because at the end of the day, we don't want your education to stop here at K-12 when you graduate as a senior, but we want you to continue. For some of you, that will mean going on to the university system of Georgia. Again, I have 2 degrees from our university system. I think your president's looking at going to UGA, hopefully. So we want to keep her in state, not out of state. So, which is a great opportunity, and that may be something you look at. But one of the things that many people don't know about me, I also have a technical school background as well. We used to call it VOTEC back in the day. But the technical school system, I know we have Commissioner Dozier here, that is a great place to continue your education. It allows you to pursue, and again, many of the things that you were doing, currently, those opportunities will continue to grow. So I hope that you will, definitely consider to follow up on that once you lead. The more credentials, the more, support and education you can get, again, that will build, your resume. And, and you just don't know where your door will, eventually open up in the future. But the more things, again, I think we talked about you having your toolkit, your toolbox, then again, that means more things you can do. So I would encourage you to do that. And one final thing that I would just say that for some of you, I hope that you will consider going, into education and becoming a CTA teacher. I think one of the things, probably the loudest applause that I have heard last night and tonight was for your teachers and advisors. You think the impact that they have made upon you and the countless students there. So again, I want to say thank you. And how about another round of applause for your teachers and advisors? Like I said, you do a fabulous job, and again, our numbers continue to grow in this area, and I want to thank you again for promoting and being the role model for these young people. Again, enjoy the day. Have a great time. Like I said, for you who are seniors, this is your last K-12 experience with us. Hopefully, we'll see you back in the technical school system representing your schools in the future. But again, be safe. Congratulations to all. Again, I want to just say thank you to those that will represent the state of Georgia at the National SkillsUSA here again in Atlanta and at this complex. So again, we look forward to seeing you and seeing lots of great things. So again, thank you for being with us today. Thank you.
Our next speaker was appointed Commissioner of the Technical College System of Georgia by Governor Brian Kemp in January 2020. Commissioner Dozier is responsible for the 22 technical colleges of TCSG and leads a team of more than 12,000 employees across the system. Prior to joining TCSG, Dozier was Chief Financial Officer for the state of Georgia from January 2019 to January 2020. Commissioner Dozier resides in Covington with his wife and 2 daughters. Please join me in welcoming Commissioner TCSG Commissioner Greg Dozier.
Good morning. Superintendent Woods, I always appreciate your partnership, and Dr. Wall, thank you for always connecting to TCSG. And I do have some prepared remarks, but couldn't go without saying thank you for the articulation and the connection and how we continue to grow CTA to post-secondary through technical colleges. Thank y'all. On behalf of Governor Brian Kemp and my awesome team right here at TCSG, it is definitely my pleasure to welcome you to the 2023 Construction Ready SkillsUSA State Championship. That's a mouthful, isn't it? But isn't it exciting? I hope you got some chills as I said that, because I did. Last year when I came, it was my first opportunity to see this great operation in motion. And what I didn't realize is really, as I walked around, it just kind of captivates you. As you saw the different skills being exhibited and excelled in, and you saw the excitement, you realized the passion, and you also saw the future talent that was before us. Business and industry across Georgia understand that their success depends on the success you have here today. They need workers with the skills you possess in order to compete in the marketplace. Your participation here today will open doors and show you a wide array of career opportunities, whether you're competing in carpentry, electrical construction, wiring, heating, ventilation, air conditioning, masonry, plumbing, welding, or one of the many other areas that you're proving yourself in these companies that you have the skills and the academic preparation to join their teams. I know many of you are enrolled in one of our TCSG 22 technical colleges across the state and are preparing for your career. For those that are in high school, I want to encourage you to pursue your passion and further your education at one of our colleges. We have over 600 programs across our system, and it's tuition free for most of the case. So if you're interested in one of those 18 high demand career fields, follow your passion. Continue to do what you love and show others that you have a skill to make a difference. These career fields are where Georgia has thousands of unfilled jobs. This means you walk right into a career after graduation. In fact, many of our students have a job before graduation. By the way, we have a 99% placement rate and an 86.9% in-field placement rate. And that's because of the industries that are here. Let's give them a round of applause. Good luck to all of you in the competitions. You're here because you're one of the top students in the state, and don't forget you belong here. Show yourself, your instructors, the business community that hard work will lead the way, and they have given you the support you need to be successful. Most of all, have fun. Enjoy this time that you have together. It's a tremendous opportunity to network and to make new friends through technical education. I know that today's winners will make all of us proud as you represent Georgia at the national competitions. Good luck. Thank you, Scott.
All right, thank you, Commissioner Dozier. All right, so if I could ask our panelists to come up at this time. So each year we like to visit with some of our graduates who are thriving in the construction industry. And this morning, we have 4 young people who were sitting in your seats not too long ago. They were all in high school. Some were enrolled in a high school construction program. Some competed in SkillsUSA Georgia. Some competed in SkillsUSA National. But all are thriving in the construction industry today. So I want to introduce our panel, and then I'm going to sit down and chat a little bit with them. Our first panelist to my left is Courtney Moser. She's a SkillsUSA gold medalist, worked as a welder at Kubota Tractor for 2 years, and today she is a welding teacher and SkillsUSA advisor at Thompson High School, which is over near Augusta. Our next panelist is Elijah Khalib Abraham. Elijah was actually directed by his high school counselor, I know our counselors will appreciate that, to the Independent Electrical Contractors Apprenticeship Program, and today he's working with E-Tech Electrical. Our next panelist is Megan Doyle. Megan is a graduate of Heritage High School and the Rockdale Career Academy. She's a pipe fitter with Batchelor & Kimball, which is one of the region's leading mechanical contractors. We also have Joshua Willis. Joshua was actually hired here on the floor of SkillsUSA by a leading electrical contractor, Allison Smith. Most recently, he worked with a general contractor called HIT Contracting as an assistant superintendent. And last but not least is my co-host this morning. Her name is Haley Rose. Haley is a graduate of Georgia Trade School. She is a welder for theater, film, and television, and is a social media influencer with more than 137,000 followers on Instagram and 612,000 followers on TikTok. And if you go check out her videos, you'll understand why. She's very entertaining. So, but please join me this morning in welcoming our panel. With this question, Haley, we'll start with you. Tell us a little bit more about what you do. Tell us more, beyond being an influencer, tell us more about that.
Hi, y'all. My name is Haley Rose. I'm 23 years old. I'm from right here in Atlanta, Georgia. I'm a welder for theater, film, and TV, like he said. And what that basically means is that I do a lot of fabrication for set and props and anything that could be used for a production. So I get to have a very fun array of things that I get to do on a daily basis, and it keeps everything interesting.
Awesome. Thank you, Haley. Joshua, tell us more about yourself.
Awesome. Name is Joshua Willis, 32 years old, born and raised in Georgia, moved to Atlanta at 18. Been in the industry for about 12 years, like Mr. Scott said. I started out in college, technical college, Atlanta Tech at the time, and I was hired on through competing in the skills contest, and I worked with a large electrical contractor, Allison Smith, for many years.
Awesome. Megan, you're our youngest. It's either you or Elijah, I'm not sure, but one of you are our youngest panelists this morning.
The youngest.
Which we'll figure it out. You're younger. Okay.
Hi, my name is Megan Doyle. I work for Batchelor & Kimball for Local 72. I work in the fab shop. I've also done some work out in the field over at Delta, City Plaza. I've actually worked here before.
Awesome. Very good. 19 years old, right?
20.
20, okay. Just graduated, class of 21.
Hello, everyone. My name is Elijah Abraham. I'm 19 years old. I'm a member of the Georgia Army National Guard, and I go to school with the IEC, which stands for Independent Electrical Contractors. Loved it so far. Been in the field for about a year, and that's all from me.
Awesome. Thank you, Elijah. Courtney?
Hey, I'm Courtney Moser, and I am the high school welding teacher at Thompson High School. I competed at Skills in 2016 and competed for welding sculptures. I won first place in the state of Georgia with my sculpture, and from that, Tulsa Welding School actually gave me a full tuition scholarship to welding school. So I went to welding school and worked in industry for 2 years, and now I'm a teacher.
Awesome. Haley, what do you think? Talk to us about pay a little bit.
Well, I think one of the big things that people are looking for when they're talking about wanting to go into whatever industry they're interested in is, what am I going to get paid? So I know for my personal industry, you can start at about $20 an hour, but because there's so many different skills involved in this industry, it really, the limit is your certifications, what you are interested in. So you can excel from there. So I wanted to know kind of what the base rate is and what's on the high end. What can they expect?
Joshua, what do you think? What can an electrician make?
Gotcha. Like Haley mentioned, that's one of the first questions people say, how much you get paid? But it ranges, it varies. Someone coming in right now, this time entry level, they can expect anywhere from $15 an hour, some 17, depending on the need for the contractor. I've seen that pay in a salary range that'll be around 25, 30K a year, but I've seen pay as high as 140K a year in the industry, and that's due to the industry not being just limited to the field work. You know, you have different opportunities to transition into and to move into once you come in at entry level. So like you'll hear from many people, don't stop, work hard, go after it, set goals and accomplish them because it's possible.
Yeah, you can actually go on Indeed.com right now. Electricians, plumbers, heating and air techs, $125,000, $150,000 a year for those trades. So it's pretty amazing. The demand is really high right now, so that's driving a lot of those wages up. Megan, talk to us about pay a little bit. What's been your experience?
The apprentice program that I am in right now, it's switching to a 4-year program. Each year you go up about $2 in scale, so you can start out as helper, which is about 13, and then there should be about either 4 to 5 years of apprenticeship, and then you are a journeyman, which is $35.08 right now.
$35 an hour, which you can always translate the hourly rate. You just multiply it by 2, basically. $35 an hour would be $70,000 a year. I don't want to get into complicated math this morning, but if you hear $100,000 a year, that's $50 an hour. So it's a good, easy way to make that transition. Elijah?
All right, so I can't speak as much to how much a journeyman in the electrical field will make, but I know for people coming into the industry, it kind of basically depends on what skills you have and what certifications you have coming in. So definitely to those high school students who are just coming in, doing that work-based learning, which I'm sure your counselors can help you with, definitely helps you in your field and get ahead, especially if you're looking for higher pay starting out. That usually ranges, like Joshua said, from 15 to 17. I also do heavy equipment operating, and it depends on what pieces of equipment you know how to operate, and that usually starts around $20 an hour. So,
If y'all are keeping track, Elijah is working on electrical, he operates heavy equipment, and he's a member of the reserves. And when he told me his story, I was just so proud. I was like, man, like you're my son or something. I was so proud. Awesome. And he's young. Awesome. He's got it figured out. Courtney?
So I guess it's dependent upon the skills you know, how hard you're willing to work. So all the factors going in, the average is about $75,000. But as most welders know, the sky's the limit. It just is dependent on where you're willing to go and what you're willing to do.
And they're all different types of welding, right? I mean, there's underwater welding. If you're willing to go underwater and weld, you can make a lot of money,
Oh,
right?
yeah.
I don't even know, Haley, maybe you know that number, the underwater welders.
I wish I knew.
It's big. I've heard it. I think it's over 200,000 if I'm not mistaken. So it's really cool. All right. So Haley, what is your favorite thing about your job? What do you love about welding in particular?
I love my industry so much because I get to be so creative, and I love being able to work on a different thing every day. I love being able to do those little precise measurements, and I get to see my work in action, have something to show for what I do. And especially in my industry where I get to see my work in front of the White House or in front of the Cinderella's castle at Disney, there's so much payoff for what I do.
That's awesome. Joshua, how about you, man? You've done a lot. You've been an electrician, assistant superintendent. You even started your own business for a little while, right? So you've seen a lot of different sides of the industry. What's your favorite part? What do you like most?
Gotcha. My favorite part of the industry in general is the people. You know, it's awesome when you get young people coming in, excited, want to learn something different, and then when you show them the way and they're able to apply those tactics and skills, you know, it's like the light bulb went off in their head, and they're like, oh man, I got this. I found what I thought was foreign to me, now it's become common to me. And also, the other thing that I love about the industry is that from the field experience that you were able to gain, you can take that anywhere, especially to your own properties. So, you know, a lot of things that you typically would have to hire out a contractor for or hire out for in the industry long enough, depending on what field or what decipher you were in, you're able to learn and pick up a lot of those things and the relationships that you build along the way. Sometimes it's just a phone call away. Hey, you may not be a plumber, but you've worked around the plumbers and you know a plumber and you've seen kind of what they do. So you're able to take that concept and save yourself thousands of dollars or do a major renovation on your own properties or help out a family member. So that's what I love about the industry.
Awesome. Thank you, Joshua. Megan, what do you love about it?
Something I like working about in the shop is I can learn everything that there is to know that's in there when it comes to a saw, to welding, to even plumbing. I've done that like last week. But I love all the different tasks that you can do, and you can always push yourself to be better than you were yesterday.
Awesome. Thank you. Elijah?
What I love really is the fact that I can pursue all sorts of different types of education without having to pay for it, really. I also love the amount of like dopamine that you get from just the gratification of doing something, starting on a project, and then you're also completing it and finishing it. You get to see it from beginning to end. And it's like a challenge every day. It's something new. So I really enjoy that as well.
0 student loan debt, right? Awesome. Courtney?
As far as welding, kind of to piggyback off of Megan, I like being creative, getting to go in the shop, and especially with my kids, we can all kind of collaborate on a project and start from nothing and have something really awesome. As far as teaching goes, I really like giving these kids the skills to go out and get real jobs. I mean, that's the whole point of it. But then also getting to go to different competitions and put their skills to the test against other kids in the state or other states. So that's definitely the most rewarding part of my job.
That's awesome. Thank you.
So, how did you get to where you are? I know that there are a lot of different paths that you can take to get into this industry. What was yours?
Start with Joshua.
Gotcha. Mine was going to technical college. I went to Atlanta Technical College, completed the electrical construction and maintenance program. I then, while I was still in college, I attended and competed in SkillsUSA. From the competition, I was able to land a job with Allison Smith. Allison Smith is an IBEW Local 613 electrical contractor located in Atlanta. I went through their apprenticeship, the locals apprenticeship. IBEW and Allison Smith was able to give me a 2-year advancement for the 2 years of college and my degree that I had. So I completed apprenticeship in 3 years. I became a journeyman, jumping ahead, became a journeyman first, worked as a journeyman as 9 months, and I became a supervisor. I supervised from 2014. That same year I became a journeyman, I got my unrestricted contractor's license as well. So from becoming a foreman, I supervised for 2014 up to 2020. Things got slow on the job. I took a risk, went out there and ran my company during the peak of COVID. We did very well. We did a lot of business, but I was working a ton of hours. Once Allison Smith picked back up, they said they needed me back, and I went back so I can get some time back with my family. So business was good, but it took a toll. But I learned some invaluable information and skills while I was out there. And then I worked with Allison Smith, finished up a large Microsoft project. From that point, I left Allison Smith and went to HIT Contracting where I was a assistant superintendent, and now I'm into electrical estimating.
Awesome. Thank you, Joshua. Megan, how'd you become a pipe fitter?
I had no idea I would get to where I am today or even think about it because in high school, I was introduced to a class and it was Intro to Metals. It was just the kind of class I wasn't too sure about. I wanted to do automotive, but this is the only class available. And I ended up loving my instructor. He's here today. His name is John Cush. I also learned about this program by Bob Bradley. He's helped me out a ton. But I realized the love I had for welding, I wanted to do something with it. And Bob Bradley gave me that opening by introducing me to Local 72.
Awesome. Thank you.
All right, so I basically got into the field because I don't enjoy school. I mean, it's ironic because I joined the
Valid.
military. The first thing they did was send me to school. Get into the electrical field, and the next thing they do is send me to school. So I realized there's no real way of escaping it. My contractors are really great, though, about teaching me every day, so that's kept me in it. And my counselor was actually the one who got me started. She recommended the IEC to me because her father actually worked with them. So I was debating whether I wanted to go to IBEW or the IEC, and I ended up choosing it, and I've enjoyed it since.
Awesome. Thank you.
So I took welding in high school because it counted as my math credit. I had no idea what welding was. I just said, hey, it's a free math credit and don't have to sit in the classroom. So that's what I did. And I kind of already told a little bit of my backstory, but I graduated from Grayson High School and went to Tulsa Welding School. Graduated from there. I worked as a welder, fabricator, and maintenance for 2 years at Kubota. And then my high school welding teacher, Charles Kashmar, he called me one day and said, hey, there's a new program starting in McDuffie County, and they need a teacher. And I said, okay. And so he got me in contact with them, and it just all kind of fell into place. So.
Awesome. Thank you, Courtney. Well, I think we have time for one more question. Haley, I think we should jump to the question since it is Women in Construction Week. If you could ask your question about that.
So my question for y'all ladies is, I know that being a woman in the trades makes me feel really empowered. How does it make you feel, and do you have any advice for women trying to go into this industry?
There are a lot of up and downs about being a woman in this industry. I mean, a lot. You can either be hated on or you can be loved. It is no in between. The family I have over at Bachelor and Kimball, they make me feel very welcomed over there. And they introduced me to so many things. It can be very hard at times because you have to pull your weight. I'm not the same build as him or anybody. So I have to work twice as hard just to keep up. But if I want to make a point and that I can do this and I can be better than some people with my work, you have to pull your own weight, and it really does mean something. And it's extremely hard, but you have to have the motivation and drive to do it.
Awesome. And Courtney, before you answer, I'll mention that we've seen an increase in the number of women coming into our programming from about, when we started counting it about 7 years ago, we had about 17% enrollment in our programs. We're up to 38% female enrollment. So more women are coming in, which is really encouraging to see. Courtney?
Definitely the same thing that she was saying. You have to work hard, you have to pull your own weight, and most of the time you have to prove yourself twice as more than the guys do. I mean, sometimes that is what it is, but definitely find somewhere that makes you feel comfortable, makes you feel welcomed, and always, don't ever quit learning. Always be willing to learn more and more and more.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Well, if we could get a round of applause for our panelists. You all have heard of ribbon cutting to open things. We don't cut ribbons here at SkillsUSA. We cut 2x4s to open up our event. And so we're going to officially do that here this morning. But at this time, we do want to cut our 2x4, so I want to welcome our 2x4 cutters to the stage. I see Mr. John Ellington from the Home Depot Foundation down here. John, if you could come on up. We also have Greg Dozier, Commissioner Dozier from the Technical College System, Superintendent Woods from the Department of Education. We have Justin McClellan, SkillsUSA Georgia post-secondary state reporter from Augusta Technical College. Maddie Flores, SkillsUSA Georgia secondary president. Dave Zimanatos is the board chair of Construction Ready. He also works with McKinney's. And then we have Lindy Jones. He is the board president for AGC Georgia, and he's also with JCI Contractors. Elisa Levy with the Marcus Foundation. And Haley Rose, our co-host this morning. Ladies and gentlemen, start your reciprocating saws. 3, 2, 1, Go. All right. You were the first. All right, everyone enjoy the day.